Okay, are we filming? Good. I was gonna pull this girl out for this video, but she's sleeping so nice and soundly I don't want to disturb her. But we have to have something to look at while I'm talking. So I'm gonna crawl into the awkward position here of filming her while I'm talking. Anyways, somebody asked me to talk on how I get my snakes so docile. And really the main part about it is just spending the time with them. Putting in the time. Really, I interact with my snakes on pretty much a daily basis. The only time I don't interact with them is when they're either in shed or they've just eaten. Other than that, I always let them out to come hang out. So, spending time with them is a big part of them getting used to you and comfortable with you. And also, you getting comfortable with them and learning how to read them better. The better you can read them and understand them, the more comfortable you are with them, the more comfortable they are with you. So it just kind of feeds back into it. Other than that, you just have to understand basic, what do you call it, snake psychology. Understand when they're likely to cause you problems. Like during their feeding response is the main one. Once you understand the feeding response and the protocols with first entering their cage, once you can kind of curtail that, then the rest is I won't say a walk in the park, but it's pretty easy once you get into the swing of things. The only other instances you'd have to really take into consideration is if you have a male during breeding season. They can get kind of ornery. A small percentage of them can get really ornery. So there's that. Especially if you have multiple animals and he smells the females that are ready to breed or other males in the area that could be potential competition. That will really set your snake off. And the only really other issue besides that would probably not apply to most people, and that's if you have a female snake sitting on a clutch of eggs. If you have that, obviously she's going to be quite protective and defensive. But yeah, if you spend the time with them, spend the time with them and give them the proper respect. Like, you have to earn their trust. You can't be manhandling them. They really have to trust you and know that you're not any kind of a threat to them, and that really helps feed into their just chill, docile behavior. Because then they know, all right, whatever this big monkey is, he's not going to hurt me. And they just act like they're, chill, normal selves. Like this girl. She doesn't even mind me here. Well, flinch a little bit, you can expect that. They kind of buck you or flinch. Hey there, bud. Hey there, buddy. Let me get a shot at your snout. That's better. She was sleeping. See how she didn't even really pay any attention to me. She didn't know I was here at all. She was sound asleep. Now she's awake because I woke her up by touching her. But still, she's not going to give us any problems. Typically, my snakes eat at night. So that's when they expect food. They never expect food during midday like this. This is usually when they spend most of their time sleeping. But anyways, back to the point. If you start out with a small snake, by small I mean like a hatchling, it's a pretty natural progression to, grow with that snake, to condition it from a very early age when, there's not as much to worry about. The threat of being bitten isn't as severe. If you're bit by a hatchling, it's nothing to write home about. You're left with a few little pinpricks. Yeah, it's gonna bleed. If you're the type to faint at the sight of blood, then to be honest, these animals aren't really for you. Because if you're bitten, you will bleed. Oh, hey there, buddy. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Go back to sleep. Yeah. Just racking up time and experience with these guys is going to help. If you're really, set on working with these guys, you just got to realize you got to put in the time if you're an amateur or inexperienced. You just got to get time in with them. Learn how to read them. Know when you're in a compromised position and when you're not. Like I would never intentionally wrap this thing around my neck, or I try not to even let them square straight up with me. Not that they're going to bite or strike or anything, but when they're squared straight up with you, all it takes is a split-second reaction or a mistake on the snake's part for something to go very wrong. So I don't like to give them that advantage in positioning, to put myself in a compromised position by having it squared straight up at my face or some vulnerable part of my body where it can strike and get a good hold of me and get a good coil around me. Right now I'm in a bit of a compromised position here, just being in the cage like this. But the snake is of a size where I'm really not concerned about her overpowering me at all. I see it. You can see my hand compared to her. She's not even close to being a size that poses a threat. My other girl, on the other hand, I wouldn't really sit in a cage like this with her. So yeah, part of it comes with your understanding of what the snake is capable of, what you can and can't get away with, what you will and will not take risks with. And all that just comes with time and experience. Like I said, if you start out with a hatchling, you can kind of learn as they grow along. It's a lot more comfortable learning at hatchling size than if you just dove right into the deep end getting a really big snake. Especially if you're inexperienced. Big snakes can be very intimidating if you don't know how to read them at all or how to work with them. The better you understand them and know how to work with them, the more easy and smooth the process goes. It really helps. But I should say these snakes are not for everyone. I've had wild caught snakes and I've managed them to be just as docile as this girl right here. But I've rehomed all my wild caught snakes in the past for various different reasons. And they didn't fare too well with the new owners, according to them. Never once had they ever given me any issues at striking or biting, and within days of rehoming them, I get calls saying, "Hey, what's wrong with your snake? How come it's trying to take my head off?" So, these snakes do react differently to different people and in different environments. Like I said, it goes back to their trust of you. You also have to present yourself as a trustworthy, interactor, whatever you want to call it from the snake's perspective. You have to come at them with a very stable, calm demeanor, a stable energy. Like if you're a high energy person, these snakes can pick up on that. They're a little less trusting with people that are bouncing off the walls with energy. Like, I've had kids come over to visit my snakes, and I can tell the snakes are a little bit agitated with the children. Because the children have tons of energy. They're not as calm or stable. Oh, there, bud. It's okay. It's okay. Ugh. They're not as calm or stable, and the snakes are a little less trusting of them. They can kind of read and pick up on energy. Just like we can read and pick up on their energy. Once you learn to read snakes, you can tell if they're a little nervous or defensive or if they're really calm and chill. Anyways, that's just a little bit about that topic. I don't know if there's much more I can go on about it with. Just, it takes time. You got to put the time in. That's the main thing. If you put the time in and you're really passionate about working with them, it'll come together. And you can't be discouraged. Like I've had 2 snakes, but my most recent one was the lavender tiger albino. She was a little on the skittish side, but we won her over. She's still a little flighty, but nothing you can't manage. Nothing that's going to, be impossible to work with. Anyways, that's it for this one. Just a little discussion on that topic. All right. We'll see you later. God bless.